so much time thinking of a cool name for myself. Hold on. So yeah, it's the hatening. It's Hoop, and we're talking about losing your virginity today. And I'm telling you that because here's what was going through my mind this whole time while I'm sitting here in my basement, trying to think of a funny title for myself to start this out. And I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm thinking, and I realized that I had, at that point, it was like, maybe half a minute. It's like, oh, well, like, I have spent more time thinking about a title about, like, for the episode about losing my virginity. It took me longer to think of that. I have spent more, god damn it, I cannot talk. I spent more time thinking about the title for myself for the episode about losing my virginity than it took for me to lose my virginity. That took so long to get out, and I'm so sorry. It took longer to get out than it also did for me to lose my virginity. Because, I mean, that shit was instant, right? But I don't know. I'm going to talk about losing my virginity and then sort of talk about the idea in general. So if you don't want to hear fucking talk, maybe don't listen to the episode. That's the content warning. This is going to be sex heavy and being a teenager and having sex for, that's just like, that's how old I was, not to brag, but yeah, if you don't jive with that, fucking, I get it, dude. I'll see you in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so virginity is like this huge, not even like it's like a topic and a concept and all this shit, right? Like that's like this thing that is like, I don't know. It's so important in society wherever the fuck you are, and it's really crazy to think about just like how much importance we put on the act of having sex for the first time. You know what I mean? Like if you're religious or not religious or whatever whatever your reason is, like everybody cares about virginity. You know what I mean? It's an event when you have sex for the first time. And I'm not gonna this episode is not about like, being a virgin, right? Like, cause we all were, or some of us still fucking are. But yeah, so I don't even know how to really, I wish I should have like smoked more weed. But, so yeah, like everybody who has lost their virginity knows very well that story, right? That's a memory that you keep. Everyone has that memory burned into their brain. That's one of the ones that will not go away. Out of all the cool shit that you do, out of everything, that you hold on to for the rest of your fucking life, if you're lucky enough to live to be old and still have all your mental functions and shit. Like, from what I've gathered, you never forget the story about, losing your virginity. And if you haven't lost it yet, like, when it happens, like, it's for better or worse. It'll be there, and trust me, it'll probably be for worse, because your first time fucking sucks. But yeah, so I'm obviously not gonna make it like go in a lot of detail, but I will give the general story of me losing my virginity, because it is kind of, I mean, like, honestly, it is very funny. Looking back, it was very embarrassing, but it was very funny. But like, yeah, I was, and also the only reason that I'm fucking saying this is just to then, sort of make the point that everybody kind of has like, not like a similar story, but I feel like my shit's like pretty common, like the broad strokes of it, I hope this isn't a weird episode to do. I mean, I'm sure I'll fucking hear about it if it is, but who knows? But anyway, yeah, I was in high school. I was 15, give or take a year. I was either 15 or 16. I don't think I was 14. And I was either in 10th or 11th grade, or maybe the summer in between. I think I was in 10th grade. We'll call it 10th grade, because I don't think I was driving yet. But I had a girlfriend, and we ended up dating for a while in high school. And and it was just like one of those weird like underclassmen relationship things where you like make out a couple times and you're like, we're in love now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was very like that vibe type of shit. But like her house was very much like the hangout house for her family and like their friends and whoever they were dating at the time type of shit, just because the person I was with had a decent amount of siblings, so there was always kids coming in the house type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I would spend a lot of time over there, and I forget if we were like doing a bunch of we were like very sexually active with everything but like actual like vaginal intercourse for a while, I think. But anyway, so like, yeah, so we were kind of like doing stuff a lot, like whenever we could like, you know, run off and do something real quick, because we were fucking weird horny kids. But like, I don't remember if it was like planned, like tomorrow night we're doing it, dog. But like, yeah, I had condoms. I definitely wore a condom the first time. But we were hanging out in their bedroom, and like the way that the house was laid out, you know, like we had to keep the door cracked when we were in their room or whatever. But like the way that house was laid out, like where their bedroom was, like the cracked door like looked out onto the hallway and then onto the stairs, and it was pretty open. You know, so like you could be in like various parts of this like general hallway corridor / like stair system and see into the bedrooms, right? So there really was no like privacy to like, you know, like what, like have sex on a bed. That's what I'm trying to get at. So we had to kind of MacGyver our way into a more secluded space, which ended up just being on a bunch of dirty clothes on in a closet. And so goddamn. So yeah, so we got in there, and I think we had been kind of like, let's have sex soon, like for a while. But yeah, like it definitely wasn't like today's the day. And we went in there, or we were hanging out, and then one of us brought up like, you want to actually let's have sex now and lose our virginity. And they were like, okay, let's do it, dude. So we went in the closet, we're on the dirty clothes. And we got naked. Yeah, we got naked at least from the bottom down. And they were on their back looking up at me, and I was kind of like hunched over. And I took the condom out, and I tried to open it and I opened it with my teeth, and I remember being like, that doesn't taste good. I don't like that taste. And then I attempted to put the condom on. But I was so excited that I nutted in the condom like before I was even like close to her. Right? So like I'm like sitting on top of her. She doesn't really see, like, you know, she's kind of like getting ready or whatever the fuck. And I like put the condom on and I bust. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I didn't know what to fucking do. So I panicked and I was like, oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And pretended that I like, you know, that I had heard like her parents on the stairs or some bullshit. You know what I mean? And so we like clambered and put our clothes back on, and I still had this fucking condom on. Put my clothes back on, like my pants and shit, and we like ran back into the room. We just like, you know, we're back to watching TV or whatever. And I had to do this whole like, phew, that was close, man. I get a false alarm. And she's like, okay, well, let's go back in there, you know, lover boy, and let's do it. And I was like, oh, nah, man, like, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to for a while. And also I had to like take this condom off of me and get another one from my backpack or whatever. I had more than one. And so I had to be like, I don't know, like they sound like they're really running around down there. We should probably wait. And then like, but I gotta go to the bathroom first. And then I like flushed the condom or whatever and waited a comfortable amount of time. And I think that she was getting not like impatient, but was kind of like, what are you doing? Come on, man. Like we were going to do it. And now we're like, what the fuck? I thought you wanted to do this, because I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe we should wait a little bit more. I don't know, that there's a funny part coming up in this show. But then we finally did go back into the closet, and I applied the condom, didn't bust when it touched my skin. And then we, you know, had sex for like a very short amount of time. And that was you know, and then we were very, very, very sexually active after that. But I mean, I feel like that is kind of, I'm trying not to be like too generous with a lot of shit, but I feel like that's kind of just like the stereotypical like middle class, quasi suburban, small town like virginity losing story, right? And maybe I'm like completely off, because I do know some people who had like some real fucking freaky virginity stories. And like, look, I don't know how you refer to losing your virginity if it like isn't consensual. And I obviously like that is a whole different fucking thing, and that's really fucked up, and I'm not trying to, you know what I mean, like make anybody think about any weird shit like that, you know, but like, yeah, I thought I'd fucking put that out there, I guess. But like, not to make it fucking, you know, bad, but unfortunately some people's first sexual experience is fucked up, you know, like bad. But like, you know, like for people who sort of, you know, lost their virginity on their own terms, like I feel like a lot of it is very similar to mine, kind of just like, are we going to do it? We're doing it now. And then you kind of like, you make like a bumbling error, and then you try and like play it off and act cool. You know what I mean? I know some people who like lost their virginity like later in life, who have more, you know, like adult tales of, you know, like in college or after college and shit like that, you know, and so their shit's a little more just like, you know, I met someone that was really cool and we went, you know, to the bar or to the whatever, and then went back to their house and it finally happened and it was great. And that's like, that's sick. That's different than sort of like what I had, obviously, but then also like what I think of when I think of like losing your virginity is like you're in high school and you're sneaking around and it's awkward and weird. You know what I mean? But like, obviously I recognize that like some people don't lose their virginity in high school or, you know, in college, or it happens way later on. And I think that is like, I mean, that's cool. That's like commendable. If that's your thing, fucking go for it. You know what I'm saying? But like, those stories are never as entertaining as like, you know, we're doing it in the back of my car in my driveway, and my mom came up with pizza for us to eat, and so she saw my bare butt and she spilled the pizza on the ground type of stories. You know what I mean? Like, those are the ones that I think of when I think about losing virginities and stuff. I can't, like, I feel like doing it as an adult is more of like a business transaction and not like a goofy incident. But, you know, like, I don't know. Everybody has, like I said, either like a virginity story or like an opinion on virginity or something. Like, this is definitely something that we all have in common, right? You know, either having had sex or not had sex. Like at one point we were all virgins. I don't know. I'm trying to make a point that might not fucking be there and make this deeper than what it is. Like, obviously sex is something that's important to every single person. And thus, like, the act of doing it for the first time is notable and important for every single person. And we all experience it in different ways, but we all have that story, or, you know, or think about that, even if like it hasn't happened yet. Like, that is something that we have all thought about, maybe fantasized about, maybe are dreading, you know what I'm saying? But like, it takes up a lot of your mental energy, like not only sex, but like everything around like the event of having your sex for the first time. You know, the first time you have your sex is definitely a story in and of itself. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad if you did have sex for the first time as an adult and it wasn't this like wacky escapade. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds way cooler than like, you know, sneaking around and doing it in like fucking pantries and like garages when you say you're gonna go like get a bottle of water. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But that's the episode. And oh wait, that's not the episode, because normally I'm like, hey, I want to hear what people have to say about this topic. Obviously, if you want to fucking tell me about how you lost your virginity, if you think it's funny and you're like cool like that, like, I'll fucking hear it, because I love hearing this shit. But like, obviously, like, for a lot of people it's very personal and private, so it might not be something that people like freely talk about the way that I talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that it might be weird that I'm just like, oh yeah, here's this fucking stupid thing that is funny and happened to me, because a lot of people are not as like, you know, not open, but just kind of like whatever about sex and shit that I am. So like, hopefully the content warning, the lazy content warning I did at the top will deter people from having weird feelings about this, but who knows, you know, but I don't fucking know. This is now the end of the episode though. And thank you for listening. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. Give us a good review wherever you listen to podcasts. That helps us out with like any official bullshit, I guess. It would in theory if it happened. Tell your friends too. People have been doing that. It seems we're getting more listeners, so that fucking rocks. Thank you. Please continue to do so. You can find The Hatening on all social media platforms, and from there, you can find the individual profiles for myself and super producer Andrew. Hit us up. Yeah, take care of yourself and the people around you, and don't forget to tell your friends you love them.